Patrol. It's been with me for many years, and now we're about to do a massive upgrade on this to get ready for the Canning stock route. We're taking the whole family on this trip with the trailer, with the gear and everything. First major upgrade is going to be this basically power system. At the moment we've only got a red arc isolator isolating the main battery for the actual deep cycle battery, which is actually not in the car, it's actually on charge at home. What we're going to be doing here is actually removing the whole red arc system and throwing a DC charger in. So basically we're going to have the cranking battery just running the car only. From over here we're going to have two deep cycle batteries running in parallel, meaning that we're going to have 100 amps each, so 200 amps power supply, but still running 12 volt. From there we've got the 50 amp DC charger we're installing here. We're installing this right next to the battery system, so it's got less draw of power. What this system is going to do, it's going to draw 50 amps from this battery, come around and basically charge up these very quickly. The reason why we're doing all this is because we're putting a lot more, let's say, upgrade of red arc systems with inverters, etc. in the back of this car to run all these good accessories we need. Yep. A few years ago I had the alternator basically overcharge and fried the deep cycle and fry one of the fusible links. So what we've had to do here is basically cut out each fusible link and actually put them on mega fuses. There's actually mega fuses all in this tight area. So all this is going to come out again, and we're going to put one main fuse block on here that's going to run all the fusible links, the fuses for the DC charger, and the future of all the other fuses on this car. We've got a nice fuse rack here, running here, and all the fuses are marked up on here to make this very easy for fault finding. Same as the other side. Another small fuse rack here, just running the backup battery, which is the auxiliary battery. But all these systems here are actually coming out and new systems are going in. With the actual winch on front, I got this winch at Audi and it's helped me out many times, but it's now time for the upgrade. So the Warn winch is going in and all this system is now going to come off. We've got spotlights, they're basically coming off and redoing with an LED bar. We've got damage of brackets from sticks and etc, smashing things, so the whole bull bar has to come off, repainted, and basically get everything upgraded onto this vehicle. Now to do the airbox on this vehicle, this has got an aftermarket DTS turbo with a beautiful, let's say, round filter that's actually got brilliant performance that I've ever had. But because now we're going on the Canning stock route, this thing's going to get dusted up to the max. So all we've got here is basically the airbox there, comes around, snorkel, straight up to here. So on this case here, we're actually going to remove the snorkel and put on a top spinner. What a top spinner is going to do, it's actually going to clean the air and take about 98% of particles out. That meaning that what's going to happen to this filter, it's going to be clean and sucking beautiful clean air. On the system here, we've still got the antenna, reverse camera, lights, and a couple more other accessory lights that are all hooked up here. What we're actually going to do here is another new roof rack. We're going to build from scratch. We're going to customize it. That's going basically more to the rear of the car, and from there we're going to buy the cheap Kings 270 awning. It's going to go this side and run around to the other side. From here we need more accessory lights, outlets for chargers, etc, all under the awning. So at night time, basically awning comes out, charging everything here, swags down here, and happy days. So everything's nice and neat. On the other side of the car, we'll come around, we've got a Rhino awning we've collected. So the Rhino awning will continue from under the 270, run across, and also from there we're basically going to throw a shower in. So the shower is going to run under the awning, come out. So we're going to have a shower or toilet or whatever you want. It's basically going to run the system here. Alright, first thing we've got to attack, but is the sub tank. We've got a 70 litre fuel tank in here that's leaking at the top. So we've got to drop the whole fuel tank out and basically fix this leak. The problem we've got is that it's welded in brackets and things, so stuff has to be cut out and basically remade for this trip. We've got the heavy duty side steps on board, which basically are staying. They're heavy, but they're reliable. So I could remove them and hopefully we don't dent the doors, but in saying that, remove them, it's harder to get in the car, etc. And if I do remove them, it's always Murphy's Law that I will hit the car. Okay, camera in the back of the car. What we're going to do here is basically remove the spare tyre. That's going. The high lift jack's here only temporary, as because we don't have a roof rack where I love to mount it. So from here, the bracket to the actual spare tyre is coming off the door. That's going, and we've got modifications inside, which I'll talk about in a second. Basically, we're going to remove all this chrome crap off the car, aluminium, take all that off, basically build a customised dual wheel system, and basically put that all on, including tools, jack, etc., within the whole system of the car. So all the tyre changing gear and everything, etc., will be in one place, all here, all set up nice and easy. With the actual inside, the door, this panel is going to come off, and inside we're going to cut out all the actual inside of the structure. The structure's there to actually hold that spare wheel on. So if I'd done this before, this door would crack. But from now, I'm removing all the wheels off this door. So from here, this system here is going to be brilliant. It's going to be an indoor sort of like kitchen, larder, whichever. So as we close the door, we've got that much gap between the actual seat, and then we're going to push out another, let's say 150mm inside the door. So from here, we're actually going to customize this and think of every nook and cranny. The other side here is my usual favorite. This is always carries everything, all my special stuff. So car servicing, repairs, cables, lights, all of else I need just for a quick repair of the car is built here. As normal, we'll throw the fridge straight in here, and from there, because I've always had this wall blanked out, but this time here we're actually going to blank it out with let's say a bit of ply. We're going to put foil, reflective material for the sun, and from there we're going to carpet all this down, and right here we're going to install a 2000 watt inverter, red arc. So that's coming next week out of Bateman's Bay. We've got a 2000 watt inverter because the systems we're running is basically going to suck about a 1500. So we need to push it up to 2000. It's recommended. But you must have 200 amp hours for the actual battery to run. So from here, we've talked about the larder in there, etc. Fridge is here. From the center of the vehicle, because I've got 3 children, 1, 2, and 3, you got to separate them because they just fight like cats and dogs. The center here is basically going to be customized to be a oven, coffee machine, and possibly the freezer, or the freezer might go into the trailer, whichever. But in the center of here is going to be a customized, let's say, kitchen that we can use for anything we need. And from there, that's why we need the system. Coming back to the actual front of the car, where these let's say mega fuses are, that's drawing basically power from battery to battery, etc. The problem that the DC-DC charger does, and the amount of power we're drawing, is a lot of research you got to go into. So what I found out, the DC-DC 50 amp charger basically will not turn off until the actual battery itself, the main battery, drops down to a certain setting like 12.2, 12.1, whichever it's set at. If it's got 14 volts in that battery, it will still draw down. So what the DC-DC charger thinks it's doing, the alternator is running because it's got the 14 volts, and it's going to keep drawing until that sucks down. By the time it's turned off, the battery is probably at 12 volts. So it's going to suck a lot of power out of that main battery. What you do, you basically buy a specialized relay. I think it's called Easy Relay. I'll put the picture in. And basically that relay detects the wave coming from the alternator. So as the alternator is actually spinning, it's actually going to put a wave out. That's going to wave and wave and wave and wave and wave and wave. And as soon as that wave stops, the relay senses that, cuts out straight away. So the battery will always stay at 14.4 volts if it had 14.4. So it's a really good way to keep the batteries from surviving. What I've done in the past is not worried about this and relied on the system itself, but that's been incorrect. So this is where the massive research comes into, and there's a lot going on. Okay, from the car itself, we've got steel we've got to cut off and change everything. So with these little bars here, these are all coming off, and actual protection plates are coming on here to protect here, protect. We've got, let's say, another 12 volt outlet. At the moment we're running some small cords with an Anderson plug. That's going to get removed, and those wires there are probably about 3 mil, 4 mil. I'm actually going to put about 8 mil in. So the 8 mil is going to come to here and power the trailer. Also, there's going to be a battery on the trailer, and that also will get charged off from the actual battery here. The problem that you're going to have is the same problem at the front. This battery here, no matter how thick cable you put through here, it will not charge this. It'll just trickle charge it tiny. You'll get nothing in there. So what we need to do is put a second DC-DC charger here. We're throwing a 20 amp charger here, and the 20 amps will be sucked through the new Anderson, through the dual batteries to here, and power this battery to have everything running on the trailer. So I'm not relying on the actual batteries in the car to support the trailer. I'm relying on this battery. So once at night time everything's basically shut down, the DC-DC charger will basically cut the power, so everything will be just run off this battery. So if I've got a fridge or freezer, whatever in this trailer, this will get sucked down here, and it will interfere with the car. So it's a really good system to have. Alright, let's have a look at the trailer. We haven't used this trailer for many years. Me good mate Big Dog and myself and the families went through Central Australia and ended up at Port Lincoln. Really fantastic trip. That's the last time we actually used this trailer. She's been parked up. So this is actually going to get customised and changed, and it's going to be the bomb. Okay, let's start at the front to make things easy. Alright, the wheel gets removed because of the suspension upgrade we're doing in the car. So basically, this won't be tall enough. We need to basically cut, fit, weld, different wheel on. The actual couple of fuel jerrys will go in the front, larger battery, and the gas bottle. All goes in the front here, and it's going to have a little cover over the top, so we can throw something on top if needed. Here, we've basically got a, like I say, storage box. Storage box is going to remain. I'm working this out, so that storage box is going to remain. The second storage box is going to get removed, and a 70 litre diesel tank will go on. So once the 70 litres on and 2 20s are in there, I should be, let's say, around about 310 litres of fuel. So for the canning stock route, I need 250. Once I've got the 250, I can make it from Halls Creek to halfway, refuel and get out, and I'll have plenty of spare. Especially if someone needs fuel, I love carrying extra. I love being prepared. From here, we're going to fill in all these sides with steel. Steel. The actual, these are the wheels I am running, but I've got to reverse the axle, so the trailer is coming up a lot more. We've got the another rack going across the board here, which is for water and diesel. That's there. Coming in the back, we've basically only got one little door for access the compartment. So all this box here is basically for camping. So basically swag, tables, chairs, cooking equipment, possibly freezer, still working out where we're going to put this. And from here we've got a spare wheel on the back. So basically what we're going to carry on this car and trailer set up for wheels is 6 and 3. So that's 9. They're all the same pattern. Spare hub still with bearings and everything for the back. What we also need to pack on this trailer will be half an axle. So with this particular trailer, the way it's designed is basically, again, thinking. So I'll be able to bring half an axle with me. People are going to say, why bring half an axle? Come look at this. What we've done here in the past is basically shrunk this axle. So I've actually cut the axle in half, bashed on some 55mm steel over the 50mm axle and put it on. So what we can do is just bring half an axle. So let's say this stub breaks, something breaks here, we can basically cut through the actual 50-50 around, smash out the actual axle, throw another one in and weld it on. I am bringing a welder on this trip. You connect the batteries up and you can arc weld all the steel. Like I said before, from here we're putting the suspension underneath. It will jack the trailer up a hell of a lot more, but I need a lot more clearance to basically get through the sand dunes. So I'm only going to be dragging a tiny bit of axle underneath rather than the actual suspension hub. From here, yep, jerry off the back and just steel it up here for, let's say, future things and everything else I can think of bringing. This is a makeshift awning at the back. So basically what happens here, telescopic steel inside here. So this slides up, and this unrolls over and ends up somewhere over there. So you can actually hang under here, or actually cook on this table and whack it in. There is an old light under here that's lit up, but it's probably your stuff now, so that needs all replacing. So that's basically the trailer upgrade. That and the car for this massive trip we're going to do. So it's going to be good. I wouldn't say it's for the faint-hearted. This trip's going to be massive. There's a hell of a lot of good people going with us, and it's going to be the best. We're actually celebrating Big Dog's 50th, so this is the whole reason why we're doing it. So see you out there.